Jake Bell. Jake Barnett is an American physics student and child prodigy. According to a memoir penned by his mother, he was diagnosed with autism when he was 2 years old and was taught privately by his parents. He showed an interest in physics from a young age, and co-authored and published a physics research paper at the age of 13. In a review of Mrs. Barnett's memoir in Skeptic, educator Chris Edwards described Jacob as an autistic savant, but added that there was no solid evidence that he was anything more than a typical autistic savant. Psychology professor Dr. Joanne Ruthsatz, who studies child prodigies at Ohio State University, in an interview on 60 Minutes estimated that talents like Barnett's occur in about 1 in 10 million individuals. In 2011, following a series of YouTube videos published by Barnett's mother, news stories appeared in the media with headlines such as "Autistic boy, 12, with higher IQ than Einstein develops his own theory of relativity, 12-year-old genius expands Einstein a unregistered trademark's theory of relativity, thinks he can prove it wrong, and autistic teenager tipped for Nobel Prize." These claims did not hold up under scrutiny. Barnett was admitted to the Perimeter Scholars International in 2013, a one-year master's degree program at the Perimeter Institute in Waterloo, Ontario. At the age of 15, he was the youngest student admitted to the program since its inaugural class 4 years prior in 2009. He completed the program in 2014 and has subsequently been listed as a doctoral student at the Perimeter Institute. Publication: in 2011, Barnett co-authored a paper concerning a lattice model in condensed matter theory in the journal Physical Reviewer, with Yogesh Njogulkar, a physics professor at Indiana University Purdue University Indianapolis. At the age of 13, he was the youngest person to publish a paper in that journal. However, it is not uncommon for older teens to complete such a piece of original research as a graduation requirement of international baccalaureate programs. News coverage: in 2011, the Daily Mail published a feature that, based on interviews with Mrs. Barnett, stated that Barnett had, in a video of him that Mrs. Barnett had uploaded to her YouTube feed, expanded Einstein's theory of relativity. A Time feature followed shortly thereafter, also stating that Barnett had proved Einstein wrong. Phil Platt, a science blogger for Discover magazine, criticized the lack of basic scientific understanding and credibility of the Time article, saying that although it is possible that Barnett may someday expand Einstein's theory of relativity, he has not yet done so, and nor would he likely ever be able to disprove it. 12-year-old Barnett's own comment in 2011 about the problem he had been working on was, unregistered trademark. I'm still working on that, I have an idea, but unregistered trademark. I'm still working out the details." In 2012, Barnett stated that he had solved the problem, but declined to give details as he had not yet published the result. In 2013, CTV News reported that, 6 years earlier, Barnett had built a series of mathematical models expanding Einstein's theory of relativity that an unnamed Princeton University professor described as groundbreaking. As of 2014, apart from the deleted YouTube video, no details of Barnett's claimed theory have been published. Both the Daily Mail and Time stories included a quotation from by Scott Tremaine, a physicist at the Institute for Advanced Study, who had been contacted by Mrs. Barnett to comment on the young Barnett's physical ideas. Tremaine, after viewing the now-deleted YouTube video, commented in an email provided by Mrs. Barnett, "I'm impressed by his interest in physics and the amount that he has learned so far. The theory that he's working on involves several of the toughest problems in astrophysics and theoretical physics. Anyone who solves these will be in line for a Nobel Prize." Tom Skocker of Slate magazine inferred from this quotation that Tremaine meant that it is possible that this young person will grow up to be able to do real astrophysics someday. But not now. However, in 2013, Christine Barnett in her memoir said that Tremaine's email, the full text of which was not provided, had confirmed that Jake was indeed working on an original theory and also said that if the theory held, it would put him in line for a Nobel Prize. Subsequent to the publication of Mrs. Barnett's memoir, the BBC ran a brief story declaring that Barnett had been tipped as a future Nobel Prize winner, a prediction repeated in the Huffington Post and The Times. Katie Couric also reported that there was talk about Barnett being in line for a Nobel Prize for his original theory of astrophysics. Chris Edwards concluded in an article in Skeptic that Mrs. Barnett's presentation of Scott Tremaine's comments as evidence of the promise of the young Barnett's alleged theory was a misrepresentation. Rather, in his analysis, Tremaine's remark was a statement about the significance of the problems that had sparked Jacobi unregistered trademark S interests, not a commentary on the theory itself. Nowhere does Dr. Tremaine suggest that Jacobi unregistered trademark S theory actually solves any problems. Works: Joe Gurka, Yogesh N. Barnett, Jacob L. Origin of maximal symmetry breaking in even PT symmetric lattices. Physical Review 84 doi, 10.1103/Phys Rev A 84.024103 References